Happy Friday, everybody. We're going to talk about tough moments as a paralegal. I was asked to do a video on bullying and maybe sabotaging in this video. I can speak to both, especially I had the great blessing in the first law firm of having a mentor attorney and a mentor paralegal. Very rare to have that. So by the time I experienced, which really was in the second job, I was a mom of two teenagers, young teenagers, 13 and 15, and was more concerned about getting them ready for whatever they were going to do. That was my goal in life, that whether they go to college or not, what was their career path or life work going to be about, or how are they going to kick it off? That was my focus. The job was secondary. Oh, can you not? Should be okay though, because the live stream is going, but I'll watch it on playback. Thanks for that comment. I'll see what it sounds like on the playback. If yeah, it's probably on your end, hun, that the sound is not working, because I think there's nothing indicating that here to me, but thank you for that heads up. In the second job, I took the place of somebody who decided to go or was let go. I have no clue to this day. She did have like a 2-week notice, and she gave a 2-week notice because she actually trained me I mean, you can't train anybody in 4 hours on a Saturday how to be a paralegal. That's ridiculous. But she was giving me a heads up about certain things. I'd never worked in this area of law, of workers' compensation or personal injury. I was coming from a law firm that did not dabble in that area of law, or that was not their focus. So everything was new. I was still very green. A paralegal, very experienced paralegal who worked for the other partner and did not work in my area of law. She was so unhappy because her best friend left that she told me I would never make it, that type of thing. That's not the first and last time I was told that. So it's really incredible to me that somebody would actually come to the doorway of my little office and tell me that. But I had an option whether to continue taking that. See, that's a form of bullying because they were grossly unhappy over something. So I went to her door and I said, listen, let's talk. And we got it all out on the table. And I understood what was causing her unhappiness. But what I said was, I'm not going anywhere. I said, I have a lot to learn, but I'm not going anywhere. So it put her on notice that I was not 18 years old facing this. That would have been really tough. I was already in my late 30s. So it makes a difference as to what you've been through in your life and what you're not going to let people do. I don't agree with being in an unhappy position for years and years, because you bring that home with you. I stood my ground and I learned a lot in that job. I worked, oh gosh, by the time I left that job, I had already worked total in my career, and I was only in it for 1.5 years, 2 years, but I worked about 8 trials. So you're building your experience level, as long as you don't have I did not have to interact with her because we were not in the same area of law. We were just on the same floor, but her boss was my boss's partner. We eventually, very quickly after I started there, left that building and went in with another law firm, and I was happy about that. And I didn't find that kind of attitude at the new location. When we moved to Florida, and I took a job eventually with a nice law firm that was well known in the area, had some senior partners that were friends with the then governor of Florida. They were his cronies, and I found that a lot of the staff had been there for like 10, 15 years. They had a tight-knit group. They were very gossipy, and I talk about it in some of my other videos. Because I did not want to be in with that gossip, because they were gossiping about my attorney, and I was new there and I needed that job. I could not participate, nor did I want to. Be careful with that. So the bullying started after that, where in an elevator going down, they would like be staring a hole in my head. You know what I'm talking about, that kind of behavior. This is adult women. So I they ended up switching me from the attorney I was working with to another attorney, which was not what I would have wanted. I did not come on to the law firm to do the kind of work that this second attorney was doing. So because I got that I was switched, they were all laughing. That, yeah, it was heavy duty bullying, not where there's violence, but um, I I had some of the attorneys say to me, we notice that you're not participating in the group activities, which they meant gossip, because they knew what was going on. But they didn't they didn't want to let people go that knew how to do their job. But the morale in the place was not the greatest. There was a lot of time being wasted on instant messaging. I would not even dream of doing that, but they did, and nothing was being done about it. So I stayed to myself and did my work. My work did not overlap with theirs. And so, these things happen. I needed this job desperately, and I was pulling the weight of supporting the whole family by myself for 3 years. And having that job opened up an opportunity for my husband with the new manager of my law firm who needed an assistant. My husband ended up working with him, and they became really close friends. They're still friends to this day. And this gentleman managed many law firms, and my husband became part of that in Tallahassee. So things happen for a reason. I stood my ground, but I didn't like going to work for about the first 2 or 3 months in that job. And my attorney left. I ended up going to the law firm, a different law firm with my attorney, and that was a very enjoyable time for me. So I did very good work at the law firm where they were gossiping and everything, but I didn't need that stress in my life at all. So my choice always is to look at the big picture. Is our work overlapping? Am I having to work with these people all the time? Or can I, just continue to work my work if it's not overlapping? If it is overlapping, or there's an attorney who's a bully, and I've worked with a female attorney who was a flat out bully, not only to me, but previous attorneys who she ran off because of her attitude. And again, the law firm did nothing about it. So she eventually left the firm. My life became easier, more peaceful. And I would not stay at a law firm too long where the bullying continues and never stops. They're not doing anything about it. And that empowers the bullies. It's like school. And I had been bullied in 7th grade, so I was determined that no one was going to chase me off from a job. However, there's a breaking point, and I never wanted, and this is not advice to stay. You have to make sure you understand what your wishes are. And I want to go into a place that's ultimately a peaceful workplace overall. There's stress always, but I don't need extra added stress from idiots who are bullies. They probably were bullies in school too. It's a power trip. And I decided to stay in 2 different instances. Lady Crystal, no, for the most part, I don't. For the most part, I don't. And why? Because attorneys don't want to buy into that. And there are insurance reasons as to why more attorneys are not buying into using paralegals from the house. So I believe they could, but I think it worries them. And some have tried it, but they really start to worry that the people aren't working, that it's just like scammy, and that they're, they're not, they want to watch their employees, and they get really goosey about not seeing if you're working or not. It's just the way it is. And a lot of people who have, really been slackers have made it bad for everybody else who would work hard. So no, I don't think that's a great opportunity in the legal field at all. But a lot of times, that's why most law firms not only don't hire people working from the house, but most law firms don't bring on interns. No, I don't. No, that's okay. No shout outs. So I don't know you from Adam. Sometimes people will think, well, I can be, a virtual assistant to an attorney, and yet I have zip experience, zip legal knowledge, but I'll just put myself out there because the career is not known to the person. If um, I tell everybody that they should always get experience, whether you have schooling or not, in the law firm. And I teach in my course, Paralegal Inner Circle class, not only how to do a rock'em sock'em cover letter, but also what needs to be on in the cover letter, and also getting legal knowledge that you need. And I provide legal knowledge to add to your already base knowledge of, you have to have office skills. You have to have good office skills, and you have to build on that. So I give you additional legal knowledge, and then you get some more on your own, and you have links for you to go take free training that's provided that I don't provide, but I provide this free training links, several links to you. But I give you, oh gosh, when this class launches again in May, the registration's May 8th to the 15th, there will be somewhere over 50 more, well, 50 plus videos in there, where now there's 40 plus. There'll be quite a few more because I'm just consistently adding to the knowledge that's in the course. So if you want to know more about it, go to paralegalcoffeetalk.com and get on the wait list for Paralegal Inner Circle class. You'll see it on my website. So go to paralegalcoffeetalk.com and look off to the upper right on the menu bar and click on Paralegal Inner Circle class info and get on the wait list. Okay. The first step always to me is, I happen to have it with me today. This is the paperback, but it comes in Kindle form, is my book, Legal Break-In. Okay. Go on Amazon to look for that, and you'll see the inside has the table of contents right there. Look through that. That would be step number one. Step number two is go on my website and check out everything that's there. You'll see something called Pop-Up Paralegal Webinar of the Month. That's free. That's free training that I'm just doing for, let's see, February, March, April. So that's a private group you can get in, and go check that out. Go check the whole website out. Paralegalcoffeetalk.com. There are podcasts there for you to listen to. Let's see. When you are watching these videos here on YouTube, you should be taking notes and categorizing those notes so that there's not a mishmash of notes, that you have it in specific categories of topics. And that will stay in your brain more. Okay? That's a big hint for when you're a paralegal as to carrying around, a notebook, or what we do in the law firm is have a legal pad. It is our right arm. It's like attached to us with a pen attached. And that you are being told things all the time, and you need to write it all down. So taking notes while you're watching my videos is another way to prep yourself for that, to get used to that. And also, Google is your best friend, your BFF. That should be burned into your brain. If you are not researching on your own about topics that come to mind, then ask yourself if you're really interested in this field or not. Is it a real interest, or are you Googling what a paralegal makes and you see $50,000 a year and your eyes are bugging out of your head and you're going, wow, you don't have to have any experience and you'll make $50,000. That is not the case. Who has a job like that? Is that real? That's Disney World. So understand that $50,000 a year comes after, years of hard work. And yes, even if you live in Manhattan or you live in LA, you might get a higher pay, but you still have to start. You still have to start somewhere. So when you start out, you have to be patient, and you're building. You're building towards getting a better salary. So my goal is always, hopefully, down the road, you're going to make better than minimum wage. That's always my goal. But you have to bring some things to the table. And the thing, that base is office work. Microsoft Word, filing. Do you know how to spell? How are your English skills? Your attorney is not your proofreader. You have to do the proofreading. Yeah, you're the engine that drives that law firm. So this is not going to be spoon feeding time. This is going to be putting the big girl, big boy pants on. And if you're not searching on Google, then ask yourself, why not? What is your why for going into this career? If it's this, looking at dollars, bing, 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 that doesn't happen right off the bat. No job is like that. So let's get into reality and then ask yourself, do I still want to go in it? So be honest with that. Very, very honest, okay? I hope this was helpful. I would not, regarding bullying or sabotaging, I would not remain in a place overall if it was ongoing and somebody was not giving up on it and they're just cruel and evil. I worked in a corporate job, not a legal job, a corporate job before I broke into the legal field that was like this, that I've talked about before. One of the managers was one of the most inhumane, cruel women I have ever met. A younger woman. I think she's 6 or 7 years younger than me. And it was a power trip in her own head. Didn't make me cry because I was older than my coworker, who was a very young mom, and was driving that person to the edge. So no, would I put up with that? Not on your life. Regarding the associates or certificate, neither. So when you ask me that, I know you haven't watched a lot of my videos then. So you need to binge watch a lot of my videos here. I don't care if you do what you can every day, but that's the work you have to put into it. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Binge watch 3 to 4 videos a day. There's 300 videos here to teach you, to educate you. When I say the book gives you the insider's view, you can get it today for $5.99 in Kindle format, and then read it. Get some of the free training that I'm offering right now on my website. You can rewatch the video to get that information. The third step is to join my class in May. And someone asked me the other day on Facebook, I'm looking at spending $26,000 on school, but I'm looking for a cheaper route. I said, good, because that makes sense. Never go to debt to get in this field. Never, if you have like $30,000 you want to spend on an education where you don't have to. So watch all the videos. And you can also join me on Paralegal Coffee Talk on Facebook, which is my page over there. I do a lot of the same videos there as well, but I haven't done this one on that. So you guys are getting this because someone asked a question about this. Okay, so ask questions below. I'm not going to teach you through comments when it's already available in video format. Okay, so that means put the work in and watch these videos, take notes, okay? And then start researching on Google. What area of law lights your fire? Okay, so watch all the videos. There's a ton of information. Put the work in. If that is too, let's say that you're like, oh, I don't want to do that. I don't want to research on Google, or I don't want to watch all these videos. I really don't. And then you have to say to yourself, then do I really want to be in this career? If you do and you're pulled to it, you're like, yeah, I really do. I'm researching it. I'm interested. You have to be a detective to succeed in this field, meaning you have to be curious all the time to get more information, because that's what you'll be doing in the law firm. You'll be the go-to person for information, for pulling the puzzle pieces together. And how do you do that? You don't assume that school is the answer. We don't assume in the legal field, so get into the habit of not assuming. That is not where you'll learn how to work within the law firm in a practical way, doing the things that the attorney needs you to do. You won't be taught what those practical things are in most curriculums, okay? So that is it, everybody. Rewatch this regarding information that you need regarding the steps to get in the paralegal field that I recommend. And you'll get a lot of information from my book, but that should just be the kickoff point. And then you go from there. So don't think that you'll get all the practical stuff in a situation like that. This is not where you get a certificate like Microsoft Word and you actually have learned something. What you learn when you get a certificate, and I know this because I took a certificate course, it is not teaching you the practical everyday things you need to know for the law firm. You're assuming that it will. But as a 29-year veteran in this career, I can tell you that the course I took did not. And most of them don't. Why? Because they're taught usually by attorneys who couldn't manage their way out of a paper sack. And that's the truth, because we're the ones managing everything as paralegals. So take that into consideration, okay? All right, so I'm going to say goodbye. Thanks for hanging with me today in this video. Thanks for being here live and during the replay. Post questions and comments below. Love hearing from you, okay? But binge watch the videos. Take notes. Take care. Bye.